So, how do you know when it's really time to bug out? Well, whenever I say this, I think of the old Clash song. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. And if I stay, it will be double. I would change that to it may be double. So come on and let me know, should I stay or should I go? Love to play that Clash song, but of course then I would be against copyright and this video would be tagged. So if you aren't familiar with Clash, look it up. So I have to explain why I'm suddenly thinking of this. Is there anything going around me that I need to bug out for? No, not that I'm aware of. But my son and I love to watch Fear the Walking Dead. Now we used to watch The Walking Dead also, but we both grew really tired of that and we didn't watch it at all last season or this season. But we loved Fear the Walking Dead last season because it was mainly situated at a prepper community ranch. And you know, they had the bunker and all the stores downstairs of freeze-dried food, and anyway, we really enjoyed last season. Well, something has come up this season, so spoiler alert, don't go any further if you haven't watched I believe it was the 3rd episode called Buried. But in that episode, right now they're living in a community in a baseball stadium, and they're growing crops in the middle, and you know, it's a pretty good apocalyptic lifestyle. But things are happening, and the question was, should have they bugged out earlier or not? Now I gotta mention, you know, my husband thinks my son and I are crazy for watching, you know, Fear or Walking Dead. What is this with zombies? But to me, both The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead are about living in an apocalyptic situation. It just happens, it's zombies, it could be some other kind of epidemic, post-war, Holocaust, whatever. But in this case, it happens to be zombies. And the stories is really about how people survive and how they change with the decisions they make to survive. So I find it very appropriate for prepping and things to consider. Some people make a distinction between bugging out and evacuating. They consider evacuation to be short-term and you expect to go back, and bugging out means you probably will never go home. I don't make that distinction. To me, bugging out is leaving your home, be it for 3 days, for 3 months, or 3 years, or never coming back. Now, in order to make a bug out decision, you really have to have information, you know, intelligence. And you might get that from talking to friends and neighbors. Maybe it is through radio communications, you know, emergency broadcasts, or shortwave radio, or ham, you know, radio, or maybe CBs. Maybe it's from your police scanner. Or maybe you've actually done scouting expeditions to see what is going on. But the more information you have, the better. The problem is you probably will have limited information, and some of that information may be tainted. So it is hard to make a good decision. Now, something that has been out there for some time in prepperdom, and I don't know who thought of it, is an acronym, G.R.E.A.T, and each of those letters are to help you decide what to do if you should bug out or not. So R is for resources almost gone, E, environment no longer safe, D, destination to go to, O, overwhelming force, U, unprepared for the situation, and T, threat. Now for some reason, every time I hear red out, I think of red rum, you know, for Stephen King's The Shining. But I kind of looked at the acronym and I think it's missing one key element, so I've came up with my own acronym, and that is GREAT, G-R-E-A-T. Or if you want to make sure you're spelling things correctly, you can move it around and it'd be G-R-A-T-E. But either way, my bug out acronym is GREAT. Now, one of the key things I think the Red Out acronym is missing is what I call the G factor, and that is your gut feeling or your intuition. I think that is really, really important. If you did watch that episode of Fear, 3 of the main characters actually thought of leaving the safety of the stadium and going on their own because they thought things were going to fall apart. Their gut was telling them to leave. However, they ignored that feeling, and I believe they suffered dire consequences. So, I think gut feeling is very, very important. Next is R for resources dwindling. If your food and water supplies are disappearing from the shelves and you really only have enough to get to a bug out location, then it is probably time to leave. If you can't replenish those supplies anywhere from stores or some scavenging in your neighborhood, then it is time to go before your cupboard is bare. E is environment unsafe. And you know, if your house is on fire or you have a gas leak, it's really easy. Snap decision. Bug out of your house, get someplace safe. But a lot of times things more slowly approach, so it's harder to tell. Now, one of the things that happened in that Fear episode was the leader of a scavenging gang said that he and his brother, they knew that there was approaching fire coming towards their ranch, but they believed everybody was going to safe, so they convinced their family to stay. And unfortunately, they were wrong, and only the 2 brothers got out. The rest of the family died. So, you really have to look at your environment. Is it safe or not? You know, there could be radiation leaks. It could be an approaching hurricane or other kind of storm, whatever. But if you think it's going to get to the point where you could be in danger, then leave before that time. And A is attack likely. Maybe it is a hostile government. Maybe it is neighbors who all of a sudden want your supplies and food. Or maybe it is a gang of marauders, you know, like they always show in the prepper novel. There's always those marauders that come to take your stuff. Well, if you really don't have a good defensive position, then it is time to leave. And this is where intel is really important, because you want to know if these individuals are approaching near your neighborhood or near your house, so you can leave in time before anyone is hurt. So, if there's any attack likely, time to bug out. And that could be an attack also from, let's say, North Korea or Russia or some other government that is bombing the United States. And then, of course, it's time to get to a safe location. So T, the threat is escalating. Maybe that wildfire is pulling closer, or maybe the hurricane is coming closer. It really looks like it is going to hit your area. Something is happening to escalate the threat. Now, if you're noticing it, probably everybody in your neighborhood is also noticing it. So, to escape at this time, or to bug out at this time, may be difficult because the roads may be clogged and there might be stalled vehicles, and it makes it difficult to leave your location. So the sooner you can leave, the better. But you also, of course, as part of your bug out plan, should have alternate routes, and you should have this all mapped up ahead of time. But if the threats keep escalating, it may be time to bug out. So here you have it. Great. Time to bug out when G, you got that gut feeling. R, your resources are dwindling. E, the environment around you is unsafe. A, an attack is likely. And T, a threat is escalating. Now, even with all that information, it can still be hard to make the choice to leave the comfort of your home. And maybe you are at the age where you just say, I'm just going to go down with my home, you know, kind of like captain of the ship. I'm going to make my last stand here. But if you have a family, younger members that you're responsible for, that is not a decision that you can make. You need to bug out when threats are escalating or you see the great signs. So I have to ask, what are the signs that you think? What would happen that you would actually bug out? Because I know for me, I'm going to be staying in the comfort of my home as long as I can. This is where most of my supplies are, all my resources. I have my garden here. I have all my canning goods here. I have water right out there. I mean, to leave this, it would really, really have to be dire circumstances. And because of that, I have to be careful that I don't wait too long until it would be too late. So I'd really like to hear, do you use the G.R.E.A.T acronym, or would you be open to using my G.R.E.A.T acronym for deciding when to bug out? Also, do you watch Fear the Walking Dead? Do you enjoy it the way we do? Anyway, love to hear your comments below. And this is Potpourri saying please subscribe and share the knowledge. Thank you very much.